All right, we got another video idea from our Dynasty community over
Come
there
on.
in the Suggest Content Ideas text channel.
Come on.
If you want to join our Discord, link is in the description. Shout out to Back in 82 and Juxter for these ideas, basically asking us to do Dynasty rankings for the 2021 rookies. Okay. One saying that, and then Juxter saying, hey, let's do a 2021 rookie redraft. You know, like what would that look like if we redrafted last year's rookie only drafts?
That's right.
So that's what we're going to do today. Now, this is more for fun than anything else, but essentially what we're going to be doing is a 12-man rookie draft for the 2021 rookies 1 year later. Okay, so looking at them 1 year later, where would we have drafted them if it was this time last year, knowing
Correct.
what we now know? It is super flex. It is PPR. It is not tied in premium. So let's go ahead and do this thing. So I am the evens. Badake, you are the odds.
Correct.
So we're just gonna have fun here. Try and figure this out as we go.
Yeah, and this is what's fun about it. Taking a look back at last year, and I think there's no doubt about it. Who was my 101? The guy that just went to the Super Bowl. He lost his first Super Bowl, connected to one of the best quarterbacks in the National Football League, and that's Jamar Chase. I think that's super simple, super easy. That we all know Jamar Chase would have probably been the 101 if we knew what we knew. If we knew what we knew exactly.
All right, Jamar Chase at the 101. No surprise there. I was hoping maybe you might go quarterback or, a different position so I could grab Chase, but it's pretty clear that he would be the 101, even with how many great quarterbacks there are. And now I'm going to make a move here that's probably going to frustrate some people.
Uh-oh.
And that's okay.
Uh-oh.
For me, I look at the tight end landscape, and I think that is one of the biggest advantages you can have in Dynasty is if you have a young, elite tight end. And when we talk about Kyle Pitts, we shouldn't even put him in the tight end category. He is an elite wide receiver playing the tight end position. Some people were disappointed by his rookie year. I am more excited than anything for him. And I think if you drafted him last year, his value is only going to be higher.
Right.
Have you ever tried to go trade for Kyle Pitts? Him and Jamar Chase are some of the most untouchable assets. I know there's really, really fantastic running backs in this class, and still some really good wide. There's so many good players here. But for me, Kyle Pitts is the one guy who kind of separates from the rest at this point in the draft. A lot of people are going to disagree with me. Only 21 years old. I think he's going to turn into an elite tight end in the next couple of years. And then you'll have an elite tight end for how many years? Who knows? Maybe a decade from now, you'll still be having Kyle Pitts on your team. So I think it's hard to find that kind of security. So I'm going to take Kyle Pitts here at the 1.2.
Okay. Look, that makes sense. And if you can secure that tight end position, you don't have to worry about it for a long time. The guy is still very, very young. So there's no doubt about it that Kyle
There's
Pitts,
so many people that you could have drafted at the 1.2.
100%.
To be honest.
100%. And I think, this is what makes it a lot easier knowing the landscape of what we know about all these quarterbacks. I'm still going to wait on a quarterback. And you know what? I have my wide receiver one. Let's go with my RB one, and that's going to be Najee Harris out of Pittsburgh. I think that's really simple, super easy. We'll take him. If I can select
I can do it for you.
Okay, I was like, it's not selecting.
So you took Najee Harris here at the 1.3.
Najee Harris. Obviously, he has dominated. He was, he was top. He finished top 5, and he was used in the air and on the ground often. Obviously, and this was behind a terrible offensive line. So if this can improve in the next year or two, then Najee Harris could continue to be doing what he's did in his rookie year.
Yeah, I like it. All right, so I'm on the clock here, and again, we have to approach every team as if it's our only pick. Okay, so we have to approach every single team that we're drafting for as if this is my only pick. So what would I do if I was here? And honestly, at this point, I think I would start to look at a quarterback.
I agree.
And a lot of people are going to be upset here saying the quarterback should have already been off the board by now. There's so many room for difference of opinion, but I think we can all agree at this point, while we still believe in all these quarterbacks, there's still room for them to fail. I think that's more than clear. So I'm going to take Trey Lance here at the 1.4. I'm going to go ahead and set the player. So Trey Lance is going to be the pick for me here at the 1.4. And now you're on the clock. By the way, I still believe in Trey. I know there's been some weird reports about will Jimmy be back? Is Trey the guy? Let's not forget how much offseason talk there always is every offseason, okay? There's no way the Niners, and I'll eat my words if I have to, but there's no way the Niners are going to spend that sort of draft capital and then not. This would destroy Trey Lance's career. for the Niners if they didn't move on to him, in my opinion. So you're on the clock here at the 1.5. Still so many elite options left.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. And, you're right. And I'm glad that, you got your wide receiver, your running backs out the way. And now that person at the 1.5 is thinking, well, who's next best available, and I think this is where the quarterbacks will kind of run. They all went from the 1.5 or 101 to the 105 this past year, and now they kind of just fell a little bit. So I'm going to take Justin Fields, a guy, if you guys have been following me know that I love Justin Fields. I believe in what he can do. I mean, and look what he did this past year. He finished top 5 in rushing amongst quarterbacks. So if that can continue, he can get some weapons around the Chicago Bears. Matt Nagy's gone. They got a brand new, I don't know if they got a head coach. Did they get a new head coach yet? I know they got a new GM already. They did. So I can't think of the head coach on the top of my head. But yes, Justin Fields, I believe in him. I believe in his rushing upside and his talent.
Yeah. I love Fields. If it wasn't Lance, it would have been Fields for me. So now I'm sitting here, and I think
I know where you're gonna go.
Trevor Lawrence isn't the wrong answer. There's a wide receiver that I don't think is the wrong answer here. But for me, it's really hard to find guys who I fully view as workhorse running backs. And this is a guy who I currently have ranked as my running back 2 in all of Dynasty, ahead of Najee. We're going to make a video about that here soon. So I'm going to go ahead and take Javonte Williams here at the 1.6. I'm feeling really, really great about that. He probably rises in this format now compared to last year. So you're on the clock here at the 1.7.
Okay, so Javonte Williams off the board. I'm going to take Jalen Waddle now. I think that makes more sense for me here.
I was hoping he would fall to me.
Yeah, super explosives. Obviously, we all know what he can do. Now paired with Tua Tagovailoa, he is going to continue to gain. And if Tua does stay, that works for Jalen Waddle. So Jalen Waddle off the board for me right here at the 1.7.
Yeah, so I'm trying to keep looking at each team as if I'm only drafting one player, but I really wanted to take Waddle at the 6 just because I love him. Yeah, but I kept thinking to myself, if I only had one pick, what would I do? And okay, so Waddle's off the board, and now again, I don't think Trevor Lawrence is the wrong answer here. I'm gonna make a move that I don't think many people are gonna agree with, and that's okay. Comment down below if you don't agree with it.
Exactly what you're gonna do, because I might do this as well.
I'm taking Elijah Moore here.
Okay.
I'm taking Elijah Moore here at the 1.8. And, there's still a running back that I'm in love with at this point. But I think I look at the landscape of wide receivers that are available. And maybe you're a Devonta Smith person. Maybe you believe in him over Elijah Moore. I wouldn't disagree with you there if you had that opinion. But for me, the most secure player on the board, the player that I think that intrigues me the most is Elijah Moore. I mean, like we said, I think weeks 7 to 13 was a wide receiver 3. Has shown me that he can be an elite product. We still need to see it for a full year.
Okay. So now I'm looking on the board. I'm thinking about who is the most talented player. So many talented people, and you're right. You could go wide receiver, you could go quarterback. But I think I'm going to go running back here because I do believe people will, even despite the injury, they're still going to invest in Travis Etienne at the 1.9. And you kind of think of Jameson Williams, where he's going right now in rookie mock drafts. And he's going around here, 109, 110. And people, if you believe in the talent and now he's connected with Trevor Lawrence, why not take Travis Etienne at the 109 and say, you know what, I'm going to sit on him for the year?
I'm pretty surprised about that. And maybe I passed him up because I assumed you wouldn't. And I need to keep being I need to keep thinking from one team perspective.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure if I would have taken Etienne, you would have taken Elijah Moore anyway. I'm a big Etienne lover. I'm not afraid of him.
Yeah.
I still have him ranked within my top 12 of the running backs this year going forward. Much more excited about him than guys like Akers and some of those other younger talents. So I'm on the board here. I think this is where the running backs kind of drop off a little bit compared to the quarterbacks and wide receivers. So again, it's a super flex league. I do believe in Trevor Lawrence, so I'm gonna take Travis's teammate here at the 10. I think, like I said in our panic video, everything that could have gone wrong for Trevor in his first year did. I mean, when the topic of subject in your team's facility is your head coach, getting lap dances at a Chili's, I mean, that is an issue. So I still believe in Trevor Lawrence. Let's get an actual head coach in there and someone who can build around him. Let's get some wide receivers and O-line. So at the 111 here, what's the plan?
Look, I think I'm stuck between two players, but I'm going to go because I think I can still get him at potentially the 2-2.
See, that's what we have to do. Hold on. We can't do that. We have to pretend this is our only pick.
So hard.
We can't do this as if we're trying to get our guys.
I mean, this is super flex league. I have to take Zach Wilson then. He's the last quarterback, at least in not the last quarterback, but he's the last dual threat quarterback on the board that has a great arm, and he can also use his legs outside of Mac Jones. So why not go with Zach Wilson here?
Okay. You know, I don't disagree with that pick. I actually have the guy I'm about to take ranked higher than Zach Wilson in Dynasty now.
Okay.
I did that a couple weeks ago, and that's Mac Jones.
Makes sense.
To me, I mean, you could make an argument for Mac Jones being the third quarterback off the board. The first, I mean, you know, there's still so many unknowns with this quarterback class, but I think we can all agree at least that we like what we saw
100%.
in spurts from every single quarterback. Mac Jones was just the most consistent. So I'm going to go ahead and take him here at the 112. So Badake, you're on the clock here at the 2-1. What's the move here?
Okay. I forgot I was doing the 2-1. I thought I was going to do the two. Anyways, let's go Devonta Smith. Best available wide receiver on the board. Sense. I think it makes sense here. Obviously, he's paired with Jalen Hurts, so we'll see if that was going to change the next few years. But we all know what he can do. The Natty game, he went crazy.
Yeah, I like that. You know, Devonta Smith's a guy that I'm falling more and more in love with, hoping that his situation is going to change. And now I'm on the clock here, and you know, Smith would have been my pick, and now it's really between two players for me: Elijah Mitchell and Amon-Ra St. Brown. And I had to ask myself, who would I prefer right now? Straight up.
100%.
And I do think it would be Mitchell, even though I am still concerned about the 49ers backfield. I'm going to trust what I saw last year and take Elijah Mitchell here at the 2-2.
Yeah, that's great. And that makes my pick a lot easier. I would have taken Amon-Ra St. Brown as well. I was on the same page, Elijah Mitchell or Amon-Ra St. Brown. Amon-Ra St. Brown at the 2-3. We all know what he can do. He was leading the wide receiver room for a little bit.
Won a lot of people championships last year, including myself. I mean, I had a team that started 1-7 in a redraft league, right?
Yeah.
And he was one of the biggest reasons why I won my redraft league last year. So now I'm on the clock here, and it gets a little bit blurry in my opinion. There's like four different players I could justify taking here. One's a quarterback, and I know that's surprising to people. One's a quarterback. There's still a quarterback that I think could be justified. Okay. Maybe this is too early, but there's still a quarterback I think should go in these first two rounds, in the second round. And then there's 3 to 4 other players I'm looking at. And for me, I think I still believe in Bateman more than any of the other talents that are on the board at the moment. He did show flashes of greatness, was never really able to be on the same page with Lamar because of his injuries, but really, really played well when Lamar wasn't there. That might be concerning, but still, I mean, all the analytics point to him being a great wide receiver in the NFL, and I like his game, so I'm going to go with him at the 2-4. You're at the 2-5.
Okay, 2-5 for me. I think we keep it straight and simple. You know, I think this might surprise some people, but I think I'm going to go Pat the Dragon Frymuth here. I think it's safe. You know, it's a second tight end off the board because I feel like, in my opinion, there's a massive drop after the tight ends, and he's also in a good offense. So once they get their quarterback, and we saw what he did this past year, I like Pat the Dragon here.
That makes a lot of sense. I think you could justify him being there for sure. So again, I'm on the board. There's a running back and a wide receiver. I'm staring down, and I'm just not sure which direction to go. I'm pretty confident that you're going to take either one I don't take. So let's just talk about it.
Okay.
Michael Carter and Kadarius Toney. Yes. That's really where I'm stuck in between, at least. I don't know about you, but now I'm kind of looking here. And who would I want to take the shot on? I think I would always prefer to go
the wide receiver, I would assume.
Receiver route. Yeah. But to be fair, it's hard to find running backs who have solidified roles. I'm going to go Toney.
Okay.
I just like what I saw from him in spurts.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I'm assuming Carter's next, but I don't know.
Yeah, it's definitely Michael Carter. He's the next best available tight end, or I feel like available. Running back on the board. So Michael Carter at the 2-7, I think it's tremendous.
I think at this point, I think it's safe to say there's a pretty massive fall off.
Yeah,
and
it's just all about who you really believe in here at the end of the second.
Yeah. So at the end of the second, I'm looking at guys like Ramondre Stevenson, Rondale Moore, and then I would say maybe those guys are in their own tier, and then there's an even bigger drop off. I still believe in Rondale. I liked him out of college, out of Purdue. I don't think he was utilized properly. I'm hoping that because of free agency, the Cardinals have to find a way to utilize him properly.
Right.
I think he had one of the lowest depths of targets this year, and it's because it was just tacky the way that they used him. So I'm hoping that they use him in a much more efficient way. I like him as an athlete, so I'm going to take him here at the 2A. Again, you're kind of taking shots on your guys here.
Yeah, and I'm on the opposite side. Like, I think I would prefer Nico Collins here over Rondale Moore. I just like his play style. I like that he's a bigger body. I feel like he's going to be the wide receiver 1 in Texas over there in Houston. So in my opinion, I like Nico Collins. Once again, taking a shot in your guys. He did decent. If you watch his gameplay with Davis Mills, it looks like they have a nice connection. And Davis Mills could be the quarterback moving forward. We just don't know that yet.
Yeah, for sure. All right, so I'm on the board here. I think I would have gone Ramondre Stevenson next, so I'm going to take him here.
Okay.
I think he could be the lead running back when Damian's contract's up. Maybe they share the backfield. Maybe it's an A.J. Dillon, Aaron Jones situation. So Stevenson at the 210 feels like the more secure. Maybe Stevenson should have gone at the 2.8, to be honest. But now the 211, we have 2 picks left between us.
Okay.
What's it going to be?
Once again, I'm thinking about the landscape of what happened this past year, who I believe in. And a guy that I said you guys should buy low in one of our past videos, and that was Josh Palmer. I think that this is somebody that's going to take over Mike Williams' role. If he does get, sent out, gets a new contract, whatever the case may be, he could be the wide receiver 2 with Justin Herbert. So why not take a shot on him? Once again, taking a shot on your guys. That's really it right now.
So for me, I said that Davis Mills should go in the second round.
It's perfect.
And that's what I'm going to do here at the 212. I mean, we have to be honest. Like, Davis Mills was the second best rookie last year. There's no if, and, or buts about it. He was the second best rookie. That doesn't mean he's going to be. Doesn't mean he has higher upside than these guys. He's going to ever be more relevant in fantasy than them in the future. But we can't deny what we saw. And honestly, think about it. If Davis Mills was coming out in this draft, he probably is the first quarterback off the board. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's a conversation that we could have. So
really, maybe. I don't know. Malik or Davis. I think on paper we would all say Malik potentially.
Right. Hard to say. Right. Hard to predict. Who knows what he does with another year at Stanford? But I'll say this: knowing what we know now, I think Davis probably is the first quarterback off the board in this year's draft. Yeah. Knowing what we currently know about him, so I'm gonna take him here at the 212. So there's obviously quite a few names that didn't get selected. So let's quickly talk about some that come to mind. From the quarterbacks, I mean, guys like Kyle Trask and Kellen Mond, maybe 4th round picks at this point. Yeah. Don't see
it either.
Running backs, Chuba Hubbard comes to mind, Kenneth Gainwell. These are guys who would have gone in the 3rd round. I think Trey Sermon's probably a late 3rd round pick still. How about Khalil Herbert, Jarrett Patterson? Some of those guys would have gone off the board.
The only other person
wide receivers that come to mind? Oh, sorry, you were going to say running back?
Well, I was going to say not running back. I was going to jump straight to tight end, but continue with wide receivers. It's doing in that order. It's easier.
So wide receivers, Terrace Marshall. I know it was a really, really bad year, but I do imagine opportunities are going to open up for him with Robbie Anderson underplaying the entire year last year. So I still like Terrace Marshall and he's maybe a really good buy low at this point. I mean, it's funny. I'm pretty sure Terrace was going around the 1.9 to the 1.12 last year in rookie drafts. And that's painful to look at now.
It is 100%.
De'Ami Brown, Anthony Schwartz, Dwayne Eskridge, Amari Rogers. Me, those last couple of guys might not be drafted, but tight ends, you were going to say.
Yeah. The only one that comes to mind I can think of that was your buy low, if I'm not mistaken, was Brevin Jordan. Super talented. I think, Nico and Brevin Jordan are going to be the pillars for the Houston Texans moving forward. We're just going to see what happens. But I like Brevin Jordan. Probably, I would say Brevin Jordan goes at the top 3 picks in the 3rd round.
Yeah, agreed. I think you could make a case for him, over some of the people from the 2.8 onwards. There's a case for him, but probably way more risk there. The other tight ends I was going to mention is Noah Gray. I do think he's deserving of a draft selection, maybe in the late third. And John Bates, Hunter Long, Jacob Harris, all guys that you could potentially look at if any of those are guys that intrigue you. But this is a fun exercise.
It's interesting.
Shout out to everyone over on Discord for the idea. And let us know, is this something that you like? And keep giving us ideas, because we'll keep making the videos. If we look at it, we're like, that could be fun to do. We should make that. It's interesting to look at. I think a lot of people might be looking at this and frustrated that the quarterbacks didn't go higher.
Yeah, I guess because it's still super flex. It's still a super flex league, so technically you still take the quarterbacks. But I mean, this is us just knowing the landscape of what happened this past year. So yeah, if you knew what was going to happen, everyone would have taken these guys over them.
And you can make a case for moving a player wherever you want to move it, right? But let us know in the comments. Do you like this? Do you agree with any of the picks? What's the best pick? What's the worst pick? Comment down below.
Yo, what's good? Thanks for watching. We got a lot more videos.
A lot more.
If you want more videos.
Watch it.
You can also subscribe.
Right now.
If you want to.
You need to.
And lastly, don't forget that you can sign up to support the show and get exclusive content by going to patreon.com/fantasylandfam.